Dive 889 on the Sphene wreck in Rock, England. This was a dive from June 2026 and was part of a Clidive trip to the north coast of Cornwall. The Sphene was a cargo ship that was built in 1920 and sunk in 1946 after hitting the nearby Mules Rock in heavy fog and sinking in a bay. As you can see, we started the wreck towards the back and then headed down to the stern to have a look at the intact rudder, as well as some of the propeller, which is now partially buried. We have an edible crab there sitting in the rudder itself. And then panning down there, you can see one of the propeller blades. And swimming past it, back towards the wreck. Going up to the deck level, there was lots of fish life on this wreck. You can see all these tiny fish here schooling around. Here we've got the engine, and as we approach the engine closer, you can see a fairly large edible crab inside it. Making our way around the back of the engine, this is our shot line, which is a bit wrapped up on the wreck, so in a second I untangle it off camera, and then we head starting to go forward. Here's the other side of that triple expansion engine. Still fairly intact, this part of the wreck. We've got a Tompot Blenny in a pipe there, which quickly disappears again. And there we can see the single large boiler. There is a Ballan Wrasse swimming against the side of the wreck. A couple of edible crabs there, and as we pan up you can see a whole family of spiny lobsters. I think there's at least 5 up there, all sort of hanging on the side of the wreck looking down at me. A very large edible crab here. In fact, lots of the sea life on this wreck was quite large. And nearby we have this common lobster. And forming a triangle between them was this large spiny spider crab. Continuing forward, we have, I think this is potentially one of the covers for the cargo holds that has come off. Looking into the letterbox on the boiler, there is a very large eel back there, but doesn't really come out on camera because it was really wedged back. And there we have the boiler again. Underneath some of the ribs of the deck, here we have a fairly large conger eel. This one was fairly curious, so stayed in place as I shoved my camera in the hole to get a shot of it. There we have what is either a bit of rotted wood or a bit of coal. And a spiny spider crab on a bit of mechanism there. And here we have a school of fairly small bib and poor cod. They were sheltering underneath the plates here from anything that might try and eat them. Continuing on, we are now on the deck itself, just starting to sink into the sand a bit. And a spiny spider crab there. And looking down into the hold, more bib. And a conger eel just hiding there underneath the beam. On the port side of the wreck now, there was a spider crab disappearing into the wreck as I approach. And in a second, as we pan down, you can see a blue glove there. Luckily, no hand within it. Another conger eel there, this one a bit smaller. And passing over some of the bollards, we've got a spiny spider crab and a sea fan. Here we now are at the bow of the ship. This was the only bit of sort of structure itself which was still intact. Managed to find another lobster, this one fairly out in the open. and we did go through and inside this bit of superstructure. Bit silty inside, as I was the last of the three going through, but managed to find a couple more conger eels on the bottom of the wreck there. There was a bit of current picking up at this point, so we drifted back towards the back of the wreck. Ballan Wrasse sticking its head out there. No sea fan. There we have a spiny spider crab and a Tompot Blenny hiding at the back. And another Ballan Wrasse. This one's a bit shyer, and behind it was a spiny lobster. Two more spider crabs there. There really was quite a lot of life on this wreck. And coming back towards the boilers, again, lots of this small silvery fish around here. Panning up to get a good view of them all, and then in the centre of the screen is that single boiler again. Edible crab there, that one looked quite old. And a couple of Tompot Blennies here. There's one there, one on the right, and in a second pan up to see a further one on the left. And now a conger eel poking its head out. And finally ending back at the engine where we came up the shot line.